All right, so hello and welcome back to our second segment here for Corn-Fed Sports in the Morning. We're going to have some guests and some other interactive type features coming up. So for now, we're just going to think a little bit creatively. So we're bringing our own little Huskers NFL Street style challenge here. So Gage and I, we flipped a coin last night, so I get first pick. So we're each going to pick 5-man rosters each. We'll get a utility player that can kind of serve as a sub.
Yep.
So 5-man NFL Street. If we're playing street football, if we're picking players who we want to play on our teams, who would they be? So we each get a pick. It amounts to 3 skill players, defensive or offensive lineman,
yep.
and then a bruiser position. So
Tight
bruiser,
end,
lineman,
linebacker.
3 type skill positions.
Yeah.
So we won't dance around it too much. We'll just jump right in. So I get first pick. So I'm going to start. So with my first pick, I went with Kenny Bell. I think Kenny, he's fast, he's physical, he can do a lot of different things. I'd love to see Kenny Bell playing a little defensive back in an NFL Street type setting or doing some of those different things. So I think with the first pick, you got to go with Kenny. I mean, look at him. He looks like he would be the best character ever on the NFL Street game. So Kenny Bell is going to be my number 1 pick. So
right.
Who are you going with your first pick?
Well, for my first pick, since you picked Kenny, I'm going to pick Taylor Martinez. You need to obviously a quarterback. NFL Street wise, I think he'll be great scrambling the ball, throwing the ball, and then on the defense side, people don't remember that he did play safety in high school, and he was recruited to play safety here too as well. So I'm going to go with Taylor.
Yeah, before you start talking about Taylor as a defensive back, it comes back to me. I'm going to pick him here number 2. He's one of the 20 best players in the Big Ten, picked to make a big impact in the Big Ten. But I think if you use his small size, athleticism, and the pop that he brings,
okay.
I think putting the ball in his hands in a street type setting, I don't really think that you got anybody who could really answer to him here. So what do you got after I take him here?
All right. Well, I'm going to go for another skill position player. I'm going to go for Jamal Turner. I like his quickness, the catching ability. He could even throw for some trick plays on NFL Street. Who knows? I just like Jamal. I think he's going to have a great season for the Nebraska football team this year. But we'll go back to you for your
So you got Taylor and Jamal. I got somebody who's got to tackle. I'm going to go David Santos. Santos, linebacker. I'll pick him as my bruiser because he delivers a little pop too. So he's rangy. He kind of came in and made some of those tackles on the edge when Nebraska needed it last year.
Right.
But I think you put him out there and you get his speed moving around. He's going to remind you that he's maybe a little bit more physical than you probably expect. So David Santos, I'm going to make my first defensive selection. You got a defensive pick over there?
No, I'm going to go with a different type of bruiser. You guys might know him as Amani Cross or the Man-Child, but I think Amani, he could play fullback. I guarantee he could play linebacker. He's gotten a lot quicker. Pat laughed at me last night with this pick, but you know what, Amani, he's a lot quicker, and he's going to surprise a lot of you guys this year.
Okay, I'll give you Amani there, so that means that I probably got to pick somebody big here too. So
yeah.
When you're looking at the ultimate interior guy, I'm going to pick Vincent Valentine for my line guy.
Okay.
I know he's offensive, he might snapping, blocking might be a mix-up for him, but I mean, he's like a built-in NFL Street character. He's got the size, he's a little athletic, he's got he's got some of those looks to him that
right.
He just looks like he'd play well in that situation.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick him for my big inside guy.
My inside guy actually hasn't even played a snap yet for the Nebraska football team. Randy Gregory. They say that he's got the biggest motor, and he's going to be, he could start this year. He's going to be great. I've seen his highlight tape. He's going to be good for us. And I'm going to go out on a limb, surprise some people, and pick him as my D lineman or O lineman.
Okay, that would be an interesting matchup to see, which leaves me to pick my quarterback. I mean, at this point, unless I'm doing something crazy, I got to go Tommy Armstrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pick him. I think that putting him out there with Kenny and Amir, I think he'd mix some things up. So Tommy Armstrong, I'm going to take him for my quarterback. So who you got to possibly fill out your team?
My 5th and final position is going to be a skill player. You guys have probably heard the hype of him before, but Alonzo Moore, I'm going to go with him. I want his breakout speed. The speed is my theme for my team, as you can tell. I got a lot of fast guys, a lot of big motor guys, so that's what I went from Alonzo.
Well, that leaves us with a pretty interesting 5-on-5 matchup. I mean, as you can see from the people we got out here on the screen, that there's a lot of people who will be making some plays and a lot of scary things, which puts us, we'll get our last little picks in.
We'll get the utility picks.
So with that, I gotta go Trey Foster. I mean,
okay.
I'm gonna pick him. He's versatile. He can play line. He can play. I saw him hit some people and bang some heads at the Shrine Bowl. So he can go offensive, defense. He's probably gonna contribute for tight end this year for Nebraska.
Absolutely.
So Trey Foster would be my ultimate utility pick. Who you got as your utility pick?
I love your utility pick, but I love mine even more. I'm gonna go Stanley John Baptiste. Once again, as you can tell, my team is a lot of fast guys. I'm gonna go Stanley. He could lockdown corner. guess what? He played wide receiver here before he played corner. So
he's just taking the utility selection a little too serious and picking one of those crossover guys. But I see it. So that's where we have it now. We got it set out. We got the 5 stars on our starters as we have it on the screen here. So I like my team. I mean, I know you
I
like
love my
your
team a lot more. So
we just wanted to put these teams out there. So we got our 2 NFL Street teams here. So we're gonna ask a little bit for your guys' feedback as well. So let us know what you think about these 2 teams. We're gonna be doing a lot more of this kind of stuff. We're gonna be doing a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So eventually, hopefully, we'll have a new vote on some of these things. Maybe you guys can pick your own teams or your own little challenges stuff.
Right.
So that's just who we think would be our NFL Street teams. I like my team. You like your team. I think we're probably going to disagree on that.
We should let the people decide.
We're going to let the people decide. So we want to know what you guys think about our NFL team or our NFL Street teams.
Yeah.
But for now, that'll wrap up our second segment here for Corn-Fed Sports in the morning and our show here on a Monday morning. So we're going to have some guests in. We're going to do some interesting things throughout the week. So stay tuned. But for now, for Corn-Fed Sports, I'm Pat Raddy.
I'm Gage Peak.
Thanks for joining us. Woo! So that was like 5.5 minutes long.